Oh, that's how they bust out. How are they going to ever figure out
All right, so we are officially on time, late. So I'm going to have the panelists come on up, and we'll get started here in about 60 seconds. Thank you, Anthony, for setting us up. Welcome to our online viewers.
It is loud. It is loud. I think I'm going to actually move it forward. I would. Just to get some better...
I can tell you one of the restaurants I Jackson Square.
What was it called? Yeah. That's awesome. Just talking about food.
shrimp and grits? I had grits. Wow, thanks.
Turn that up. I didn't think it was that loud. Oh, that's really awesome. All right, welcome. Welcome to. There's a little bit of excitement in this room. I like it. Welcome to Family Reunion 2019 Recap Panel. Woo! Alright, so I'm excited to basically just be up here to facilitate we have two amazing agents and two amazing admins today. And if you were not able to come down to Family Reunion, actually, by show of hands, how many of you know what Family Reunion is? Okay, most of you, but there's a couple in the room that aren't even sure necessarily what Family Reunion is. Family Reunion is our annual national convention, and in fact, it is the largest real estate convention in the world. This year, I believe there was approximately 18,000 agents from across the world. So a really small gathering, you know, like most of Portland's population was right there. So for a small town Maine boy, it was kind of a lot to take in. It was really awesome. So we do this every year, and I'll give you a preview at the end of where we're going next year, because if you weren't able to attend this year, you're going to want to make sure you're stocking away in a little escrow account so that you can join us next year.
Profit share.
All right. Some what?
Profit share.
Profit share. Yeah. Save your profit share checks. Love it. All right. So I would love for each of you guys to start out just by introducing yourselves. Sure. I know your reputations precede you.
Especially in New Orleans. I'm Don LaRue. It's my 10th year with KW, and I went to my first one 10 years ago. So I've got a pretty interesting perspective over the last 10 years. It was great, but I run a team here, and definitely love it.
I'm Jennifer Clark, and I'm almost at 2 years. This was my first family reunion, and I would highly recommend at least going to one because there was so much education. That was the, besides the shrimp and grits, that was the best part.
Awesome.
My name is Amanda Dale. I work for Danbury Guerin, and I've been with Keller Williams for 4 months. I'm the Director of Operations.
My name is Megan McDonald. I am the Director of Operations for the Scott and Sunny Townsend team, and I've been here almost 7 years, and this is my 3rd family reunion.
Awesome. Very cool. So when we were putting together this panel, I wanted to make sure that we had admin ops staff just because they're every bit or more important than agents. In the labs process, which, as you probably are aware, is how our technology gets rolled out. Josh Team, our president, said, you know, we brought a bunch of these rainmakers in the room, and we quickly realized that after about 2 weeks with the rainmakers, that we needed to get the rainmakers out of the room, because all they were doing was just going back to the ops staff and being like, will this actually work? What do we do? And all these things. And so then they just brought in all the operations teams to actually build the technology. And I thought that was really important. So I hope you guys get both perspectives of family reunion as we go through today. So thank you guys all for participating. So we're going to start with kind of a fun question. What was your favorite food in New Orleans?
That's a tough one.
Oh, I'll go first. So one of the nights, because we had 4 team members go, so we went to this little restaurant in Jackson Square, and they had this dessert that I've actually hunted the internet for and found the recipe because I want to make it. And it's apparently a New Orleans staple, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. It's like tarte à la boulin, but
Yeah, you butchered that.
Yeah. But it's like a vanilla custard with this almost like a beignet type base and a caramel rum sauce, and we just all shared it and devoured it. It was amazing. Yeah, that was my favorite.
That's awesome.
Mine's easy. It would be the beignet from Cafe Du Monde. I had it probably an hour before leaving. When we went to the airport, just came in a little bag, and it was just full of confectionery sugar. It was really good. That's my favorite part.
Super messy.
Yeah, super messy. It was all over me and my luggage.
Just don't
but
breathe
I
out
didn't
when
care.
you're
There was confectionery sugar everywhere. Like all over the restaurant.
I already let mine go. So I went to Two Chicks in the morning, which is a cafe that was really they're so good. Waited 45 minutes for breakfast. Had my Keller Williams badge on, and I was all by myself, so I didn't want to take up a big table. And the people behind me I didn't notice were from Keller Williams as well, and they said, why don't you just join us for breakfast? So we all sat, and I got the barbecue shrimp and grits, which was, I had grits there 4 times. Each time it was cooked differently. That was by far I was in heaven. So that's mine.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, the beignets are definitely my favorite dessert. However, I went to K. Paul's Louisiana Kitchen, which is spectacular, and the roux for the jambalaya, and what else was it I had? The gumbo. The gumbo was spectacular. So that was my favorite. Those are 2 really outstanding dishes in Louisiana.
No one said the boxed lunches at the...
Oh, super.
The lettuce on those things was...
You had to look for the one that wasn't yellowed.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so a little bit more serious, although that was important. I'm curious to know just your single biggest takeaway. What's the one thing that you walked away from family reunion with that you said, this was a big aha, either from a big picture perspective or from a tactical perspective?
Would you like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So can I say I have 1.5?
Sure. This is you guys' time, so you can do 2 or 3.
So when we were at one of Gary's speeches, I was sitting with my MAPS coach, and he was talking about where someone said to him, instead of trying to sell that, why don't you buy it? Yeah. And he said, you know, a lot of people say, well, I don't have the money for that. If you want to do that, you'll make it happen. So I said to my coach, well, where do you get money to do that? And she said, your brain can't work on a problem it doesn't have. And I was like, oh. So that was one. And then I went to a bunch of breakouts, and Chris Suarez was my favorite. And he was talking about the difference between goals and systems, and we're all pushed to set our goals. The thing is, when you get to that goal, the majority of us stop. He compared it to a marathon. When you get to the finish line, you don't run 3 more miles, you stop. And so his thought is, if you just focus on the systems versus the end goal, you will meet and exceed your goal, even if you're not trying to get to that spot. So that that was huge for me.
That's a really good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, that being so tied to the outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing for me, I anticipated this. I've only been with Keller Williams for 4 months. So since I've started, we've been talking about command and coming in and being able to experience the systems that are already in place and know that there's something that's going to bring everything together. I was really looking forward to that. And so being part of Family Reunion and being able to learn so much about command, I understand now that everything that I do is going to be streamlined and it's going to make everything more scalable, so that when we are ready to expand, it's going to make everything a lot easier. So my day-to-day is going to be easier because I'm able to do through command, with Smart Plans and Opportunities and Sketchhouse. I'm doing all of the admin for my team. So, I mean, just jumping into command as soon as you're able to is going to make it easier for you in the long term.
Mm-hmm. Be pro.
Right.
Be pro at command. That's
Yeah.
that's critical for us.
There's a couple of things. So I attended a mastermind that was outside of Family Reunion during one of the days, and it was called Messy in the Middle. And one of my big takeaways from that is, especially with teams, we all have problems. Like, no team is ever going to be run perfectly. And so it's insightful to see these mega agents, mega teams, and they have the same problems that we're running into and seeing how they're fixing it. So it's one of those things that we're all working through, and I know there was a quote that was posted about, everyone's going to have problems. It's trying to get to the higher level problems. And then one of the other things is more for my agents that I brought back was that, we have several newer agents on our team, and one of the analogies was used that when you're driving into your driveway, you don't speed up, you slow down. So it's teaching the agents to, when you're, getting to your goal, when you're getting to a closing, that you want to take your foot off the gas, slow down, and make sure you're checking in with your clients, making sure that they have all their questions answered, because this is a major purchase for them, or a life event. So you always want to be taking the pulse of your clients instead of just like, oh, we're getting to closing, let's push to closing. Because what we're doing here is developing relationships. It's a relationship business, and we all know that, but I really like the analogy to bring back to our agents that, when you're getting to your destination, you're not putting your foot on the gas pedal, you're taking it off. So, with us, we kind of went over all of our things that we took from it, and that's what I wanted to bring back to our agents, is that it's about the client experience.
Well, I have that 80,000 foot view of the whole picture. So my ahas were more about, Gary Keller and the leadership part. The competition with Zillow and how we're going to combat, our data, big data. All command is part of that, but just the vision, Gary pouring millions and millions of dollars into a platform that there are only 3 others in the world. It's going to be equivalent to those 3 other platforms. I just think that I came back encouraged and enthused by the incredible leadership that we have at KW. It's just an amazing group of people, and to me that's the 80,000 foot view, right? It's like Gary's a visionary. He's back in the control seat, and not that he wasn't in it before. However, leadership, is just going to make sure that everybody in this room is going to be working for themselves and not employees for, the Zillows of the world. And that's a huge, for me, that's a huge thing. So that's encouraging. I came back pumped by it. So.
That's awesome. One of the things that kind of struck me as I was just listening to you guys, with Jen and Megan's, there's this symbiosis, if you will, this like symbiotic relationship in our businesses between speed and knowing when to slow down, and this like micro look that we have to constantly be taking as we assess our business, and the macro look. Yes, we want to have this speed to hit our goals and accelerate and have a system that supports big goals, and yet we need to know when to slow down, park the car, to make sure that client's going to come back. And so that was just something that I kind of heard it almost sounds competing.
It needs to be part of the process. The
Right.
slowing
Exactly.
down and parking a car needs to be part of that process.
Exactly, and there's that symbiotic relationship there. So, awesome. I'm curious what things, any questions about any of that from you guys that you want them to elaborate on?
You said this is one of 3 systems. What were the other 2 systems?
Well, like Zillow has a really big platform. I think I'm trying to think if it was.
So there was real estate systems.
Yeah, there were just
IBM
platforms,
systems.
big data platforms that in the real estate industry, and trying to hold on to our data, empowering agents to be in control versus other intelligences being in control.
There was a huge, the others, Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
How
that's a
often we
perfect
heard
example,
about Netflix and how
Yeah.
you can go on to Netflix, choose some movies that you like or watch some movies, and Netflix knows next time you turn the TV on, I'm going to show them something similar.
Right.
And that's what the comparison was over and over. Netflix, I think Amazon maybe was thrown in there as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Trying to have a platform
Yeah.
that's personalized, like instead of having a personal website for a
Right.
person, just a website that's generic to everybody that goes on, actually a customized artificial intelligence type thing, like Netflix
Machine learning.
can say, well, they looked at this, and they can do the same thing with homes and data.
Thank you.
Did they get into at all, how are we gonna let the general public, or how are we gonna convince them that this is a platform that they need to go to? How are they gonna let the world connect to this? Because everybody's going to Zillow. You know that. Did they get into that at all?
Well, you have, I don't know how many
They're
thousands of-
developing a consumer app. They're doing a lot of testing in it. We just had a admin mastermind where I think maybe Melissa had said that when they roll it out, they want it to be right because people are so finicky that they go into it, and if it doesn't work the first time, they're just gonna delete it.
Yeah.
So they're spending a lot of time making sure the consumer app is working and the interface. And once they download that, once they're interacting it, that's where their landing pages are gonna be. They say it's a landing page, but it's not a landing page because it's so customized to each person who's logging in.
Right.
So I think once it actually launches the consumer app, I'm sure there's gonna be scripts and dialogue that comes out from International or KWRI, that will help educate your clients. But we were also discussing that it should be something that is in your buyer or seller presentation, download the app.
Right.
Right up front I think is how you're
We
gonna
have
start
to show
educating
them.
them.
My guess is, and I don't know if anyone heard this while we were there, is that they had some pretty amazing, what I'm gonna call commercials, up on the big screen for these apps. They have gotta be pushing that up to the public at some point, is my guess.
Plus you have, how many agents are there in Keller Williams? I lost track of the number.
170,000.
170,000 people that are going to be marketing that app. I mean, I have, my CRM right now basically is really outstanding and very expensive. People that go on it basically stay on it because the data is actually a lot more accurate than Zillow is. Zillow is so inaccurate, it's not really that much of a if you educate your public that Zillow is off by 20% plus or minus on whatever they put out there, and they have so much data that's so old and off that it's an easy sell. This is going to be a much better experience for the consumer, and that's how you keep them.
To go off of what Don said, so I don't know if you've experienced this, we have Market Leader or whatever, when I plug in someone and I put Scarborough and I put 04074, now they could be at Higgins Beach, which is much more valuable than something that's gonna be on Broad Turn. But Zillow and some of these systems are only basing it on 04074.
Right.
So the command, they partnered up with Nextdoor and they've developed 200,000 neighborhoods. So I can plug in that they live in Pleasant Hill and it's only going to pull comps from Pleasant Hill. Even though they all have the same zip code, it's much more dialed in, and that's one of my biggest issues with some of the other platforms is that Waterfront is being compared to the shack that's up the street, and they're not taking into consideration how the distance from the water. So I think Command, once it's really you know, and they also said that if they define an area, you can go in and redefine it a little bit, so that, you know, you can get hyper-local neighborhood data to the people who are living or searching there, which is a big value to me, because when you see this estimate, it says, you know, it's, you know, $270,000, but, you know, down at Higgins Beach, it's more like $600,000.
I just wanted to clarify, I was not putting that question out there as an advocate for Zillow.
Oh, no, yeah.
But it was more like, when I get a fresh incoming client, they usually send me a property from Realtor.com or Zillow. How do we shortcut that?
So I'll take that if I may. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna share your consumer app with your clients as soon as you start talking to them. That is gonna be better than any Zillow. It's gonna be better than any other platform that they could be using. So what you're gonna effectively be doing is building a moat around your database. So in the PC program, I've been pushing, build your database. Once the consumer app comes out and you're sharing that and you're having conversations with your database about the app, its capabilities, and the value proposition, they're going to want to go there. And as soon as they try it, there's no other program that competes with it.
And if you share your app now, when the consumer app comes out, it'll automatically convert them to the new consumer app. So share your app now.
Your Keller Williams Agent app right now?
Yep.
Great, thanks for sending me that property. Check it out on this app, and you can text it to them directly from your app.
It's not bad.
It's best to know the app inside and out for you to feel comfortable about pushing the app. It really is.
It's a great question what you bring up,
Yeah.
because we live in an attention economy now. It's where the eyeballs are. That's why Zillow has the valuation that it has, because of the eyeballs, right? And so it is going to be somewhat of a game, or it's a race. We're in a race to take away the eyeballs. What Josh talks about all the time is that what the Zestimate did is it made the consumer a little bit smarter. Even if it was inaccurate, it made them a little bit smarter, at least feel like they were smarter. And so our play with our app is that we are, through neighborhoods and through more localized information, we're going to make the consumer a little bit smarter. And so there's going to be that value add there, so that they want to download our app over another app. We're talking about the app a lot. You guys want to watch the video? The app commercial?
Yeah.
Is that okay if I blast that behind you guys? Alright.
I haven't seen it, so.
And then Melissa had a question.
Oh, no, I
Oh,
was
are you good?
really
It's the one, okay.
I had a front row seat.
The base level, okay, got it.
It was pretty exciting.
So when this was played, I just want you guys to know this was on screens that were probably 20 feet tall and 100 feet wide, and it was as loud as like any concert you've ever been to. So we'll turn it up and we'll try to give you a similar experience.
pretty all inclusive.
Like it.
It's like TripAdvisor, Yelp, I don't wanna say Zillow, but, you know, all those things just in one, everything you could possibly want.
Were they asking like what people preferred about homes? Like I saw something about like
Yes.
settings or different.
It's like, do you like horror or do you like comedy? It's like, it's kind of that Netflix, it's learning what they like and what they don't like.
Right.
And there is agreements with all the MLSs, so our MLSs should be able to feed into like command and everything too.
So is it something that you would like send, instead of like sending MLS properties to your client, you would send it through the KW system instead?
That's my understanding, yeah.
And so have we all seen on Kelly, you can add local insights?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of another part of this, right? So when they're on their platform, they provide to them, they're looking at the listings, they're also looking at insights that realtors, boots on the ground, are adding that they think are valuable to customers. So this works here locally in the greater Portland area and all around Maine, as well as when you have a client or a friend or a referral in Houston, Texas, or San Diego, California, and you want to make a recommendation, now they can see those same inputs from realtors local to that area.
Yeah, contractors, entertainment, food, everything.
I was out to dinner Friday night at a location I won't mention, I guess. Janice was there as well, Ryder. So she and I are taking pictures of the venue and the food and stuff, and we're putting it on insights. And she said, "Oh, we gotta take this one." I just went to someplace else, and she was adding the insights on. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of put places that you frequent, restaurants that you like. It really kind of gives you that local flair, you know. So it's fun. It was kind of a neat thing to be able to tailor.
Just an FYI, if you add a local insight, your name's attached to it.
Yes.
So when another realtor is looking at that insight, they see your name. Might that be beneficial to your referral network?
So, add, get in there. So another fun question. I want to know how many of you wore your name badges after 5 o'clock?
Oh, right, I saw that. All right. There was I was up and I was like, wow, you guys are brave. Like,
Well,
put
you
the
know,
brand on the line.
You know what was awesome about walking anywhere in the city? You could see the other Keller Williams agents and you know, just walk by, hey, scan me. Hey, scan me. So with our QR codes, which I'm not sure if everyone's aware of, we have a QR code in the Kelly app, and that's how, and it automatically within, you know, 3 seconds can download into our database that other person's contact information.
Save a lot of business cards.
Yeah, you know, people want to hand me business cards. I was like, do you got the scan code? I don't really want to carry business cards.
Did you see the guy who was walking around with his QR code?
Oh yeah,
It was like
huge.
on a digital screen on his back.
Yep.
And he, I mean, it must have been like a
3 by 4
Yeah,
something.
it was
I
tall
don't
and it was on his back, and he carried it everywhere. I'm sure that he probably has the most names or
Probably.
connections. But yeah, you just, oh, there he is again. You can see him follow around.
Yeah, it had like the letters like screaming across,
Yeah.
like saying like I serve DC, Virginia, you know, all these things. It was awesome.
I don't know his name, but I'll remember it.
So what, and we may have already touched on this a little bit, but what is the one thing you are most excited about that you learned while you're down in New Orleans?
I mean, for me, I said this a little while ago, but I mean, it's really about being pro in command and all of its tools. That's the focus for me and Lucy, is to become as efficient and proficient in using that as humanly possible. Because it's gonna save us so much money. There were a lot of vendors there. I don't know how many. There were a lot. And we're really not going to need any of them. None of them. Because everything they're doing, do we have home warranty in there? In the command?
Not
That
yet.
might be the
Not yet.
only thing that
Not
we're
yet.
gonna have to, you know, share outside of the Kelly app, because it just has everything. And now with Keller Mortgage, I think it is, I would highly recommend looking into that. I need to do it myself. it's available to us, correct?
It is, yeah, and we were gonna go there next, and
Yeah.
so I'd love for you guys all to talk a little bit about what you learned about Keller Mortgage.
Well, it saves them money. Saves there's no fees or $1,000 credit or something like that to the buyers.
Yep.
And I do have my favorite lenders. It's gonna be hard, but
It's a business decision.
Yeah, I
that
think,
you have to make, and that could be, different for every business,
Mhm.
depending on what those relationships look like.
we can't direct them to one lender, one inspector, whatever. It's just one of the lenders that we can say have great rates. And, you're gonna save money by using this, but I have several great lenders. And it's really the consumer's choice on who they use, and that's really important. I think, it's just another option, and obviously there's a lot of benefit to it, and I'm totally in on it and stuff. I want the logos, we need, as agents, we need the logos for our websites, we need KW logos for it, we need a little more information. That's something, I think coming back, I'd like to see the office give us a little bit more data, information on what the mortgage thing is gonna be about. But that by far is a great, one of the great things that was added. I don't know, I don't even remember what the original question was. What was it?
Well, the original question was, what are you most excited about?
Most excited about, yeah.
That's either released
Command.
or yet to be released,
Yeah,
or...
for me it is Command as well. I think, I've been a little resistant to Kelly up until probably a few months ago. I have zero resistance to it. I'm not a big, government guy looking over my shoulder. I finally got an Alexa because my wife bought one. So but on the other
That's
hand,
dangerous, though.
yeah. So I'm dangerous now.
Don't
Watch
ask
out.
her to put it on for us.
Yeah, but anyway, so I just think it's an unbelievable. It's going to level the. I've always been worried in the last 3-4 years when Warren Buffett came out and said he's going to make us all employees. Basically, I've been worried about it, and I feel like Command and Gary are kind of giving that a little bit back to us, which I'm really excited about. So.
And he's not selling it to any other agencies.
I think mine is Command as well, however, I have a different perspective. Teams is not rolled out yet. So Teams won't be rolled out until Q2, probably the end. So my goal is to explore it and really find out the functionality of it and how it's going to work for the team aspect of it. I might be waiting a little bit to see other people testing it out and seeing their feedback, because I don't want to jump into anything. I mean, we have a database of over 5,000 people, so I really want to dig into it before I'm bringing my team on board. But I think everyone's right. I think it's a game changer. And here's the thing: once you get into it, I have a feeling that it's going to be so impressive. One, it's going to retain agents. Two, it is a great value proposition for other agents and building your downline.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's going to be anything else like it on the market, at least for a while. So I think once you kind of get used to it or figure out how it's going to work for you, I think that talking with other agents and bringing them on board with Keller Williams, I think it would be tough for anyone to walk away from that type of technology and then start paying top producer again.
Yes.
So that's a huge expense for our team, is we have top producer for every single member of the team. And then if we do go over to Command, which is the plan once I investigate, that's a huge cost savings to us. And I think that's what I'm most excited about, but I really need to explore it more. I've done a couple of the labs, but I need to really get into it.
To add a note to what you're saying too, Gary said if another agency started today trying to follow what this Command is going to be, it would take at least 4 years, 2 years of development, and then getting the bugs out and everything to even be where we're at today. So in that 4 years, it's going to be so far, there's just no catching up at this point. that's what I think.
Which really, it's imperative that each of you guys recognize the moment in which you're running a business. There are not many opportunities where you are this far out in front of the competition. And so take advantage. The phrase "take your unfair share" is something that we talk about a lot here. And you will not, in my estimation, ever get this opportunity again to outrun your competitors at this speed and velocity. So, yeah, exploring it, even when it's not available yet for teams, really becoming a pro and figuring out how can I integrate different ideas like the insights and things like that into my business is super, super important. Jen just touched on something and I slipped my mind what I was going to say. But yeah, go for it.
Hey, I just wanted to circle back really quick to Keller Mortgage. I took a picture of the sign that they had. It's the Zero Plus program. So here's a few of the details. 0 origination fee, 0 lender fee, $1,000 at closing to your buyer. So you're going to save them a lot of money and they're going to get a credit. Also says low rate, interest rate, competitive interest rate, exclusive to KW transactions. So it didn't say KW buyers, it said transactions. So correct me if I'm wrong, when you're listing a home, you can offer a KW mortgage to the potential buyer of the home so that they can come use the same product and get the same features. Now the really cool thing about this is part of Command is you're going to be tracking your transactions and what step you're at in the process using Command. Whether you're in the process of viewing homes, making offers, under contract, and so when you're using Keller Mortgage, it's going to be connected to your Command, so that when they order the appraisal, you get notified. When the appraisal comes back and checks out, you get notified. When you get clear to close, you get notified.
Yes.
So rather than chasing down your lender on the phone and emailing 20 different people a day trying to figure out what's going on with this guy's mortgage, it's all going to be through Command.
Totally exciting for that.
And the buyers.
Yeah.
Pretty neat, right?
Which is another incredible thing, because when you think about what the consumer wants, all of us think that they want an on-demand agent. This is another thing that I'm stealing from Josh, that they want an on-demand agent. They want on-demand information. And so if our technology can give them the on-demand information, it keeps you in the fiduciary seat to be able to do what you guys are best at. And so the push notification piece is huge.
Yeah.
And the other thing I understood too, because I've gone online and looked at a lot of stuff, is it will stay in touch with those buyers even after they buy, so that it will ask them when the mortgage rates go down, do you want to be in touch with us? If something changes to refinance, it will give them that. So it's a constant communication to the buyer to keep them in your dialogue, to just, and you don't have to worry about it because it does all that. So, like, where would you ever find that?
Right. Absolutely right. You mortgage at 6%, interest rates take a dip, or over the course of 2 years they go down to 4%. It's going to ask you, do you want to refi and save 2% on your mortgage interest? And we all know what 2% can mean. That's an obvious and extreme example, but you get.
Yeah.
Question: what financial plural institutions has KW formed this mortgage around?
We bought a mortgage company. I don't remember the name of the mortgage company, but it's not a partnership with other. It's not like
It's not a partnership.
It's not a loan program through a bunch of banks that we partnered with.
Okay.
We own a mortgage company, so that's how we're able to trim the fat from everything.
I think one thing that I want to add to that about the data, one of the things Gary said and Josh, I think, really drove home is that this industry is a people-driven industry. As much data as you have, is wonderful. However, we are still a key component to why real estate agents are needed. So we bring the human part, right? You have all the data, all the artificial intelligence stuff, but bottom line is, we are the human aspect, and making all this information, so readily available is wonderful. However, that doesn't mean that we don't have to really provide good customer service personally. And that was mentioned several times, is that, that's what we bring to this. So.
Bring the human back.
Human part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think your question was, what was the thing you liked? I don't know where we're at. I don't even think you guys actually, everybody responded to that?
Let's take a minute here. Questions from you guys, generally.
I have a question, but I have some input. I don't know, you might have already given this out, but I had signed up for a program that you could sign up for think it started the end of January, it's called Tech Enabled Agent.
Yeah.
It's $50 a month, and it's through Keller Williams. I think it's one of the Mass, but I signed up
Mass Group
for it.
Coaching.
Yeah, and so that is huge because you can go at your own pace, and it helps you, of course, if you've taken any of those programs, step by step, to break it down. I've just been on it, I think I signed up for it on Thursday, and they're on training every Tuesday and Thursday at noon with new programs. But it helps to break this all down at your own pace, to go step by step on your phone, on your computer, with command, with the whole thing.
That's great.
Is it recorded? So
It's all
you're
recorded
not-
in the material, you know, it's
You
a
can look
typical
at it
map that
any
you
time.
can, you know, do it, coordinate it with. And me living out so far, it's just been awesome.
Yeah.
Because this all started, they rolled this out at the end of January. And so they know they're all fine tuning, but it gets you on board, so you don't have to bug David or all the people here, cause you know what I mean, you're gonna be inundated, like how many people are you gonna have to try and train?
There's a lot of us.
Time, yeah.
There's a lot of us.
But with this program, you can take it step by step, and then if you have questions, you can get to them and they'll fine tune and
Yeah,
help
thanks
you.
for bringing that. Would it be valuable if I included that in a follow-up email
Yeah.
to
Sure. Yes.
the roster? Okay.
Yes, with a link.
Excellent.
I have another comment, just, we kinda had a little interlude there. You know, another thing about, Keller Williams and just that whole family reunion thing is the connections and the networking that takes place. We haven't talked about networking. But I have an incredible network of agents that I've met through, you know, New England Masterminds, which is another tremendous thing that's local that you should consider going to. But, I mean, I've been going to family reunion for 10 years, right? So, what's really cool is seeing some of the guys that I know really well up on panels, up on the stage. Just awesome, you know? So, those guys are friends of mine, and we network together, and that's kind of like what you get too. It's not just doing barcodes, right? It's the conversations that you have and people that you meet. You know, I ran into Hudson Santana, who's a guy from Boston. I hadn't really talked to him. He's a friend of mine, and we started talking about he's now moving to Miami. You know, and it's like those are the connections that you create. You know, that is just amazing. You know, so getting there is networking too, and all the people you meet. So yeah, pretty cool.
Don, it's like we're on the same wavelength or something. 'Cause that was one of my next questions. Tell me about the connections that you made.
It's very different for an admin. Just we are not extroverts, so it's a little bit different. So going to a previous family reunion, the one in Vegas. Actually, no, it was my first New Orleans one, because I don't really approach people that I don't know. At the inspirational breakfast, someone happened to sit next to me, and he started a conversation because he's a high eye. And we got chatting and we exchanged information. We had a good chat and found some connections. He's in Colorado, and because of that connection with him, he actually referred someone to us who bought in Scarborough. So like even I was bringing in referral business by attending the event. But other than that, because there's not a ton of breakouts for admins, we kind of created our own. I mean, this is kind of what we do. I know Melissa, Andrew, and I had gone to something called Messy in the Middle, which was basically, you know, it was a wide swath of people, you know, and we're running into people that we've gone to other masterminds and connecting with. And we had gone to Virginia for a mastermind, and we ran into someone from there, and we had a nice chat and just making those connections. So it's having the conversations because, I mean, let's be honest, we run the world in your world. So, you know, when I'm doing research for referral agents, I'm like, oh, I know their admin, she's awesome. So we'll refer it to them. So that's just kind of my perspective, is like when we're interacting with each other at some of these breakout mastermind sessions, and I'm looking for referrals, I'm looking for their admins. And that's kind of my perspective of it.
I met a lot of people, made a lot of friends at family reunion. Some people from Cambridge and Boston, all over the country, St. Louis and Texas. I had a lot of really meaningful conversations where I'm still relatively new to real estate, whether it's admin or real estate agents that I'm talking with. There's always something for me to learn. So it's a wealth of knowledge, the networking that I experienced at Family Reunion.
Stepping back to the after 5 o'clock badge wearing, there's an unimaginable amount of networking that can be done at Family Reunion, also outside and not with other Keller Williams agents. So, Lyft drivers, they saw so many of those badges. So, you know, you just start having conversations with those people. I went to a restaurant and had my badge on, and the waiter brought up how he grew up in Maine and all of that, and you can connect with people that are not just agents, that still can be in your, you know, bring into your database.
That's all.
Different outlook on it.
I think, you know, your whole team went, like a lot of people, right?
4.
Right, 4. That's a networking thing too. It's a bonding experience when you go with teammates. You know,
And they know how to embarrass me.
It's part of our job, right? So yeah, that's really fun. I think it, you know, just brings that, you know, that team experience a little bit higher level, which is really awesome.
One of the things, Joe and I were actually commenting one night, on one night of Family Reunion, they do Red Bash every year, and Red Bash is like, it's almost like Keller Williams got talent, and it's kind of like what it's like. People bring their bands up, and they're singing, and they're doing whatever, and we're like, wait, like, I think a group of MAPS coaches like got up and were like a gospel choir. I think that's what it was, and we were commenting on just how powerful it is culturally. That the people, when you look around, the people that come down to Family Reunion, they go back and they're in culture and they're in production. Because it's just so powerful. When you're around, I forget who said it originally. Let's just attribute it to Abraham Lincoln because everyone says but you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And when you're down at Family Reunion, you're spending time with the creme de la creme of agents around the country. You think you're a big fish in Maine, and then, you know, you're doing several hundred transactions or whatever, and you're on a team of multiple people, or you're a solo and you're just crushing it, rookie of the year, all of these things, and then you get around these people who, one guy has 110 locations, and you get to learn from them. It's fascinating. Who would you say, so it's keeping it on the networking and connections level, of everyone that you heard, who inspired you the most and why?
Well, I really am stuck on Chris Suarez. I friended him and got his YouTube channel and all of that. He just had so much energy. I think he said he's been doing this just 5 or 6 years. If I'm correct, I may be wrong. He's very young. And just, I came from a very technical background, and so when he was speaking about systems and things of that nature, it struck me with his energy. It was the best breakout session. Like, there was no moments of doze at all. You know, it was very impactful. So I'm gonna stick with Chris because he definitely was my favorite.
Can you spell his name?
Yep. Suarez.
Why was he? What about him? You said the energy.
Well, not just the energy, but the fact that I guess that he's a systems guy, and if you follow the system, you'll get to where you want to go and beyond. That's really.
I'd say, so like on the first day they added I think it was the first day, they added a breakout, and I went to the Q&A with Josh's team, and he was just answering all the tech questions and kind of got me really excited about Command. I hadn't been up until that point. I hadn't really investigated, and I went to that just to kind of find out. And so he was answering, and there's just a lot of different aspects. The rumor has it there could be a property management feature in the system, which could help our rentals business. So it was just listening to all the questions that he answered, and I took, jotted a bunch of notes of things that I didn't know. So I got really kind of excited about exploring just by going to his Q&A. And I thought that's what my big takeaway from Family Reunion is that to get involved in that tech.
Yeah. That's a good one.
This is a really hard one for me because my first family reunion, and honestly, everyone that spoke was so inspiring, and I was learning so much every time I went to a new breakout session. The first breakout session I went to was for BombBomb, and we're using BombBomb right now, and I'm able to use that with our transactions. I'll be able to use that through Command with our smart plans. I'm using it for marketing as well as operations. As we're learning Command and I'm going through all of the training, my intention is to record what I'm doing so that when I do leverage out some of the things that I'm doing currently, I'll have that on video. So really that's a big chunk of what I learned from Family Reunion was more about BombBomb and how I can better utilize that for right now, but also in the future so that I'm saving time and being more efficient.
Digital procedure manual.
That's what I'm doing, a playbook.
Love that.
I have a playbook.
That's killer.
That's terrific.
Steal that, guys.
For me, I've never seen Gary Keller so relaxed, so at peace with what he's doing. It just was, sometimes he's quote unquote agitated. So, he was just in a really good place, and he always has, challenged us. He's always inspired us, but I just thought he just brought his game up another notch at that Family Reunion. It was awesome.
He had more fun with it too. Like that ghost video was hysterical.
Oh, that was
Talk to us. Not everyone got it.
Yeah.
But maybe explain what was going on there.
Well, this is my interpretation, so I don't know if it's actually correct.
Okay, this is going to be hilarious.
Do we all have to give it?
So there's been some news around when Gary Keller took back the CEO, he took back the job. There were like 17,000 ghost agents on the roster. So basically it was all about building the agent roster in Keller Williams, building up the numbers. We're #1 agent, count. And so some news had hit that he was getting rid of all the ghost agents, basically agents who weren't in production, and that
came out.
right. So they were just kind of like cutting them all out, and so they put this video, and it was basically images that looked like ghost agents throughout different different market centers, and and it just that's what my interpretation was.
If you see any ghost agents, let us know.
Which I think there shows a lot of humor, and you gotta have humor every day.
Yeah.
It's a great point, and that's a leadership lesson that we all need to take away. The ability to laugh at ourselves, it goes a long way when you're leading people.
And he totally rocked that guitar.
Yeah.
That was
absolutely.
that was cool. I said, who has? We have the coolest CEO in the world,
Cool. True. Yeah. There were a ton of inspiring people there. Let's kind of shift focus here. Everyone doing okay? No one needs a break or anything? All right. Let's shift focus a little bit into Gary talked in his vision, as he does every year, about kind of the state of the industry, global numbers, things like that. Talk to us a little bit about any takeaways from that portion of his talk, what you're seeing in your own teams and businesses here locally, and maybe just talk to us about some trends a little bit.
I was pretty blown away by the net worth of a renter compared to an owner.
Do you remember what that was?
It was like somewhere between, it was like 5,648 is the net worth of a renter, and the net worth of a homeowner is 260,000. That got me. I would have never guessed that.
I think what I took away from it is in previous years we had all been talking about shift, and I think there is a slight shift coming, but what I've been seeing locally is that it's more, instead of like a seller's market, it's more going balance market, which feels like a bigger shift. And we were just running some numbers, and instead of a 5-month supply, it's actually gone back to a 3-month supply. So I don't think,
We're still sellers.
yeah, I think that, you know, there will be a shift in the market, but it's gonna be more balanced than anything else, is kind of what I've been seeing, and that's what I was taking away from some of his graphs. It's more like coming in more into line. In previous years, they were like, it's gonna dip, but I feel like this year it was more like it's gonna even out, and there might not be a huge change for 2019.
I would say the same thing. That's what the graphs seem to point out, that there wasn't a huge significant drop in business, and we're going to be a little bit more level compared to last year. Now, I'm not seeing that in the local market. I mean, it's going to be a multiple offer every day. So, you know, whether it's a $1.4 million property or a $300,000 property. So I know across the country they're saying high-end luxury stuff is slowing down, which I guess it is, but it doesn't seem to be happening in Maine.
Maybe you're pricing it right.
Maybe. Hopefully that's it.
There's a good chance.
The other thing is mortgage rates were projected to stay pretty even throughout the year as well.
Cool. Well, thank you, Chief Economist.
That's next.
Actually, they had the chief economist for our company up there on the platform or whatever, and he didn't really say too much. And I kind of want to be a fly on the wall to watch what he does on a day-to-day basis, like with numbers just flying around. And like,
He's cool, isn't he?
I bet he has an excellent
He's like,
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true admin.
He is totally on point with everything.
Yeah. So another part of Gary's vision speech, and I think this goes back to how in years past people have kind of said, like, man, Gary's he's getting up there in age, and he's getting more irritated and just on edge, and you know, he's just kind of crabby. He kind of like the edge was clearly off, as if there was this weight lifted off his shoulders, and I think that came through in no greater way than when he started talking in his vision speech about falling back in love with real estate. And that's a portion of the vision speech that you all need to watch. Why it's amazing. And you alluded to the net worth of a homeowner renter. That was in that portion. And so, as people who are either seasoned or new to this industry, I'm curious from your perspective how that hit you, and why you love real estate.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you do it.
I have tissues if it gets emotional.
Well, I just think, you know, real estate gives you an opportunity to earn as much money as you can envision. There's no lid. You know, you can change lives for people. It's a very important thing to, you know, help someone find a house. It's one of the biggest, you know, purchases they'll do in their lives, and you have a chance to do that. But I think it's more, for me too, that, you know, I just want to make sure this business goes on. You know, I don't want it to, you know, I'm probably, who knows how long I'll do this. You can do this forever, right? Maybe not the level I do it now, but, you know, I want my kid to be able to do it. You know, I want the next generation to do this. So.
Have the opportunity.
Right.
So I being fairly new, I haven't fallen out. And I have no intention of falling out of love with real estate. And I think one of the big things that he was talking about in that whole discussion was that Command, going back to Command again, but Command is going to help us to remain or get back in love with real estate, because then we won't be doing all of the things and taking all of the time to do everything that Command's going to do, and allow us to work on those relationships and get back to what we really want to do. Most of us, me, is build your relationships with people. And one of the biggest things for me, I think that helps drive not only loving, I don't even only love to help people get into their next home or sell the home they have, but I really have a drive to help outside of real estate, which is massive. I want to give as much as I can to where it needs to go in the world. You know, the water project that I'm working on. I can't do that without real estate. I never could have done what I'm doing now without this. So I have no intention of slowing down or stopping, none.
Yeah, I think what Jen said is right. It's the relationships, and so I think technology is what I'm most excited about with working within real estate and the opportunities that we're given. Fortunately, within my team, I can kind of create the role that I want to take on, and having that technology frees me up to do other things and creating culture within my team. That's something that's really important to me, and fortunately Keller Williams has wonderful culture and opportunities where I can grow and develop that within my own team. But just the possibilities within real estate, I think that's what's great. I want to be able to love on the clients that we have and do all of the other things, so it's not just the details, which I do also very, very much enjoy, but the big picture stuff too.
It's kind of funny. My perspective is I like real estate, but the reason I love what I do is because I love our culture, my team culture. I mean, Keller Williams in general, but we have so much fun in our office. We spend a lot of time outside of the office just doing things randomly, Scott and Sonny took me paddleboarding for the first time. Not very good at it. Don't have balance. But I think that's what I love about what I do is we have a great culture. We have a lot of fun. Scott's analogies crack me up all the time. So I laugh every day. And they let me do what I want to do. I mean, within reason, but the thing, I can develop the systems that I want to develop. I can take the operations the way that I want to take it, tracking the numbers to tell a story about what's going on in the market and what's going on in the team and conversion rates and all that stuff. I love that, and they let me have it. I know it's a big control piece for the agents to let go, and they did it. And so I think that's what I love about it is that they let me have my freedom to develop my systems, and I can, I listen to Scott on the phone, and I pick up my own scripts just from listening to him. So it's really, the culture piece is really big for me.
For anyone this may connect with, I sort of just sitting here and thinking, consider it sort of like the military. And not in the way that you would think. So in the military, there is a place for everyone. There is something that connects with everyone. And I think if you find your place in real estate, whatever that place might be, and it's something you enjoy, you're gonna love what you're doing.
Awesome. Very cool. So let's get really tactical.
Speaking of military. we segue like this whole.
That's great. We practiced this. I didn't give them to you, Amanda. I gave them to everyone. So, what is the one thing that you're going to focus on we're coming up into March? What's the one thing that you are focusing on that when you do that, whereby which everything else in your business becomes easier or unnecessary?
Mm-hmm. Database.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. It's contacts. We're going into the database, and if your contacts are not already in command, getting them in there and fully getting them, all of them in there, and then going in and tagging and creating your fields, and appreciating it as an opportunity. It's going to take some time, and you're going to have to figure it out, but it is an opportunity, and it's a chance for you to love on your database again and connect with them. We talked in the mastermind, the weekend of family reunion, 8% of the contacts that were in command had addresses, and by the end of the weekend they had that up to 14%. So just going in and making sure that each contact has all of the information that you need so that you can best serve your clients.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me, is scrubbing my database, kind of getting it. I have a good reason to call people. I don't have their birth dates. It's a great idea. There were some great ideas on what to do for touches at family reunion. And that's just a great opportunity. We're gonna run our platforms parallel until we know we're confident that's gonna work. And a lot of stuff's not coming out the next quarter anyway, but we plan on just running them parallel. We're really scrubbing our database right now, and you know, we have great reasons to call people, birthdays, I don't have your address, you know, I don't have a phone number or whatever, it's a great touch. So, that's kind of like our focus right now.
I think obviously our database is always one of our focuses, but one of the things I really want to focus on this year is building referrals. We are already our farm is very, very tight, but with buyer's agents who go a little bit further out, so we're really working on referrals. So last year we had 42,000 in GCI from referrals, and we want to build that. So it's, coming up with ideas to get people to bring us that we can refer out. I have a meeting later today with the rest of my team to go over all the ideas that we got from Family Reunion and what we want to implement right away. And I know one of the big ideas that I shared at the Admin Mastermind that I really liked was getting branded either Amazon or Visa gift cards. And if someone brings you a referral, to give them the branded gift card. Because if you're giving them $50, then they're going to come back to you and they're going to bring you every one that they know. So I want that to be kind of a big focus because, doing 30, 45 minutes of research and calling agents to seeing if they're the right fit could bring you a $5,000 referral check. So that's one area that I really want to focus on this year.
That's awesome. I just want to add one thing to that. Check with your accountant on the size of the gift certificate that you can give legally to somebody. So
also you can categorize it as advertising.
Right, and the other thing is, you need to make sure you're giving the gift card to everyone who gets referred and not whether it closes or not. Because that's more like a kickback rather than, oh, you brought me someone, here's the gift. You just, there's definitely things that you need to monitor.
This is being taped, so we're
put something along a ticker on the
We're not quite that advanced yet. We're getting on scheduling here today. Awesome. So I want to just open it up to everyone else. Questions?
Who's going next year? Good.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, so get your right now.
You ruined it.
Sorry, I totally offended, man. That was already out there.
I have the little intro video pulled up.
I'm sorry. Forget that. Back that thing up.
Scrub that.
Sorry, this is live.
Thought we rehearsed this.
Is there a delay on this?
I've been 9 times and I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
It's really, every time I go, I get something new. Like Megan said, the relationships. I got a referral yesterday from somebody that I met. Their buyers are moving from Texas, so.
And we are vacation land, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're staycation
Absolutely.
land, but we are vacation land right now. So second home market.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I can challenge your perspective a little too, if you're thinking like, I can't afford that. One referral.
Yeah.
Exactly. One referral, and you will get it. You're around 20,000 agents down there. You can make one referral happen while you're down there. Yeah. If you're a Mastery client, you get your ticket admission for free and special access into some of the smaller breakouts. So yeah, definitely hop on.
Can't you break it up into payments too? Like, don't they do that here at the office and break stuff out from
the tickets?
Check with Lisa on that. Check with Lisa.
I think they've done that in the
on those
past.
details.
I don't remember with Family Reunion if they have.
Okay.
I'm sure
I
there's
know we
a
did really yeah.
No, I thought they would have like a monthly payment thing that they would
We
collect.
do it for other things, so I'm sure if there was enough demand,
I think
enough
we do.
uproar from the masses, we could probably make
Another
something
accounting
happen.
thing.
And the thing
Sorry,
that
Lisa.
Lisa's probably like cursing at her computer at me.
The other thing to consider that they hadn't done in years past is they actually increased the price about a month prior to Family Reunion. It was $750 if you got in early, and then it went up to $800, and then so when did it go back down? They're like the message boards were just filled with people trying to buy tickets at the $750. Because we had an extra ticket and we ended up selling it, but
Scalping your ticket.
Yeah.
I would say buy as many as you need, but I wouldn't wait until the last minute because you may not get the deal that you think you're gonna get.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Other tips and family reunion hacks from people who are in the-
Comfortable shoes. Dress shoes.
Don't
Yeah,
rent
dress
a car.
No.
It was
Oh my
absolutely
gosh.
freezing in the big
That's fine.
cavernous, like, the room where they had all the things. It was so cold in there. So yeah, bring layers. Even though you're in New
Yeah,
Orleans, like,
good point.
it was so cold in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll
Definitely
probably
bring
walk
jacket.
around 10 miles a day.
At
So
least.
really wear comfortable shoes.
It also depends on which convention center you're in, because New Orleans, the convention center is
Oh,
very,
It's
very
like a half a
long.
mile long.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, our very own Karen Farnsworth won the wellness challenge.
she?
She logged 44 miles.
Wow.
And I
Half
know
of it
that
was
there's
probably
other people who
dancing.
weren't part of that challenge
Yeah.
from KW, Melissa, that probably walked as much or so yeah, so you will walk a ton. So use it as an excuse to buy a new pair of shoes. Yeah, any other questions? You guys have take advantage too. You guys have a rock star panel up here, so you can go off script from family reunion if you want to. Take advantage.
Does anyone go to the Young Professionals, or is anyone part of the Young Professionals?
I went to the initial one here, but I didn't go to the one.
I went to the initial one here too, but I know that they had like a breakout or something
They did.
for that, but I didn't know.
It was right before the Chris Suarez one, actually, which he's part of Young Professionals. So I would really look him up.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go, but I do want to explore that
Yeah,
one.
they did a lab, a hands-on lab in Command, Kelly.
I would say also another tip is to go and or stay one day early on either side.
Especially if you're gonna explore, go
Yes.
early.
Yeah.
Cause you're not gonna wanna explore after you're gonna
Yes.
be, there's so much
Ready to go
information
home.
coming at
Yeah.
you,
I would agree with that.
and so much walking that you're not gonna wanna explore, you just wanna go home and like either start implementing or sleep, I mean,
Yeah.
or combination.
I went to the World War II museum on the last day, and I was just
Nice.
like, I don't even care about World War II.
No,
it was good.
I would definitely say before.
Yeah, definitely a day before.
I was
is a
really
good
eager to
idea.
get back and start doing all the things that I learned. And
Definitely.
How many agents from the center went?
60, I think, right?
55 or
It
60.
was between 60 and 70.
Oh,
Yeah,
60 and 70.
which I want to give a shout out to all of you guys that went our market center, because throughout the course of the week I had an opportunity to talk to team leaders and assistant team leaders from all over the country. And there are other market centers who have 300, 400, 500 people who are represented by
Just a few.
7
Yeah.
agents. And so it just speaks volumes of the culture that we not only have within our teams, but how that even filters up into the culture of our market center. So thank you for participating in that as part of that.
Yes.
Hey, Don.
Hi.
So, you mentioned that there were some things that you heard that were high-touch items for your clients. Could you share any of those?
Yes, I'm trying to think of some of them. Well, I think one that resonated a little bit was, setting up some kind of giveaway for like what I plan on doing is having some kind of free thing for their birthday. You can kind of choose whatever, but when their birthday comes up, have a relationship with some institute, right? A restaurant, donut shop, pizza, whatever, and just say, when their birthdays come up, it's a reason to call, it's a reason to touch, and then why. I'm going to put you in for a drawing. When your birthday comes up, I'm going to buy you a donut from Holy Donut, so I just want to make sure I have your birthday. When's your birthday? And so stuff like that. Just instead of just calling up and asking for real estate business, it's a different way. And I haven't written down, but that's one that kind of stuck in my head. There were lots of different things like that. I don't remember some of the other ones, but it's kind of fun.
If you send birthday cards, you can do some research.
That was the other one. Yeah.
Because we do a birthday card with a $1 scratch ticket. People love that. They, they'll, I won $2. It's great. But we go like postecard.com. So like we go on there and we order a female and male, or they're kind of general neutral, but we tend to. So every year we pick a new set of cards and we order them, and we can get them less expensive than getting them from other places. So you could just do some research, or where you can buy in bulk, And then, so we pull a list from Top Producer of everyone who has a birthday in that month, including their kids. We don't send the lottery ticket to kids though. Just making that disclaimer. And then we send it out in their birthday month. And we actually put it on our surveys. Like, we modified the KW survey and we put it at the bottom saying, what's your birthday?
Yeah.
And so people will fill it out, so we'll get it back that way too.
One thing I just add to it is that if you do ask for their birthday and you say you're gonna send a card, you should send a card,
Yeah.
right? Follow through with whatever you're gonna do, because obviously if you call just for a birthday, you don't do anything for it, it's kinda like, why are you really calling me? Kind of not exactly in culture, I don't think.
So we've been using send-out cards for years, and possibly it's time for a switch then, because we don't usually, you really can't take the opportunity with the send-out cards because they do it for you.
Right.
To, put in a scratch lottery ticket, so.
Yeah, because Kevin does it for me now, but I probably write Scott and Sonny's name better than they do at this point. But it's like, it's handwritten signature and, just like, have a great day. So it's very personalized.
Right.
And, there's like maybe 20 to 30 a month. So you can do them all in advance. We have different systems, but what I used to do is I'd do them all and I'd write the date on the very corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd organize it, and then the week of their birthday, I would just slap our Scott and Sonny branded sticker right over the date, and then pop it in the mail.
Interesting.
Very good. Anything else?
Are there any plans to have a class with the command, or you want us to go to the tech-enabled agent to get really hip with that?
There's one today, right?
Yeah, we're not going to teach anything about it, Christina. Go figure it out. No. We intend to have the best command rollout of market centers across the country, and what that's going to look like is we are going to teach tech on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 every week. It'll be a different piece, and then on Thursdays we will be labbing. Okay. So what the labs are going to look like are more collaborative efforts to figure it out together. The feedback that we're getting is that just get your brilliant minds in a room and let you guys figure it out together. And so Thursdays will look like probably circling up these tables, bringing your laptops, and having you guys here to say, okay, how did you add those tags? Like, what did that actually look like, and which tags are you adding? And we'll do that together, all right? And so that's starting in March. We'll pick a topic each week. We'll teach, we'll lab, we'll teach, we'll lab, we'll teach, we'll lab. And I'll pull it up here on
What time on Thursdays are you doing this?
That will be 2 to 3, as consistently as possible. All right. I'll show you this.
While you're pulling that up, if you get a chance at Roar, they do that every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Diana Kokoska is like amazing speaker. She's very, very inspirational. But at this year's Roar, if you get a chance to watch it, Shannon, she sang 3 songs.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. Absolutely
awesome.
Amazing and very inspirational, and she has a beautiful voice. So if you get a chance to watch it, you should.
Agreed. What about KW Connect? For learning in the meantime.
You're a lot.
Yeah.
You're right on. You're ahead of me, Jen. All right. So, kwconnect.com /tech-enabled-agent. All right.
What's that?
How do you zoom in?
Yeah, can you repeat that?
You can't zoom in on it. kwconnect.com/tech-enabled-agent. Alright, and I'm going to do a follow-up email to the whole roster here, okay, and I'll include that here. You want to get familiar with this chart here, okay? This is the big why and the big kind of overarching vision of how this is all rolling out. Shannon's going to get into this today at 2 o'clock, so I'm not going to steal her thunder, but this is how everything is being built and how everything's going to accelerate forward, okay? But this is the page where you can get information about Command, Connect, and the consumer app. These things are all tied together in the same ecosystem.
And there will be live, in addition to what we're doing here at the Market Center, there's this live stream training that's happening, okay? So Ann mentioned the mass group coaching. That's a paid option that you'll find great value in. This stuff is free, and it's being, they already have the schedule out. You'll notice that a lot of these are the same, right? 9 steps to transition, 9 steps to transition. They're offering them in different time slots, okay? So time block those into your calendar. There are some guides. They're releasing a bunch of playbooks right now. 7 steps to launch your neighborhood lead gen in Command. 9 steps to transition your business to Command. That guide, you can download it here. If you're coming to the 2 o'clock, I'm also going to be printing off a bunch of those to hand out. These guides are pretty cool though. They're like interactive PDFs, so you can kind of check off as you're going right within the PDF.
And that's right on that site, right?
And this is right on the site. Yeah. And then finally, how-to videos. They're coming out with more of these each and every day. This is what a lot of our training is probably going to look like. How to create custom fields, how to edit contacts, how to connect your applications in Command. You guys touched on something, so was it BonBon? That's an application that you can still integrate into Command if you're doing that. Brevity, whatever the platform is that you want to integrate, you can do that. And so some of our labs will go into how you actually connect those. Texting services, phone services, things of that nature. Bring together all of those applications that are disconnected and don't talk to each other into one, okay?
Social media as well.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
It was
all
like
of those.
design one thing and it integrates to like Twitter
Sort of like
and
Hootsuite.
Instagram and Facebook. It gets kind of, yeah.
The other thing is, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a 68 challenge or something in Command where they're having you do that many steps to get you more familiar with Command.
Oh, like the 66
I think
challenge.
It's something like that, yeah.
In is that like in a whole group or something?
No, it was. I think I saw it on Kelly. One of the little slider. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go to Jen if you're interested.
I
don't know where that is. Awesome. Any final words that you guys want to share? Any inspirational things you want to leave us with?
Some people call the family reunion a cult gathering, and I guess in a way it sort of is, but
you need to work on your inspiration.
I take that I take that in a positive light, though. I really do, and I think that yes, you can get some information here at the recap. It is not anywhere near the same feeling, the same impact, and driver as going to family reunion. There really is no substitute for just going.
And Jen knows I'm fooling around with her, but I mean, obviously, cult, Latin, culture. That's all. That's all it is, right? It's a gathering of a specific culture, and that's really what you experience in there. That's a good point.
I think my biggest thing is to promote from the ops perspective is send your ops people. I mean, I'm trying to be an advocate, but the thing is, there's a lot of agents who go and they don't bring their ops people, or they don't think it's worth it or of value, and I think that they're really missing out on an opportunity because we love systems, we love it, and there's a lot of classes on how to bring in new systems, how to organize better. So I just think that if you're on the fence about sending your ops people, like really just take that leap and send them.
Let's give it up for our panel. Thank you guys for taking time out of your days to come share this with us. If you have further questions, we're finishing up a little early here. Stop by, and at 12 o'clock, Leanne, who just showed up, and Holly are going to be giving their family reunion economic update. And 2 o'clock, Shannon will be channeling Gary Keller. So, all right. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
How you doing?
Questions worked out.
I'm doing well. Yeah,
It's fun. Okay. Hi.